Hello, are you ready to fix your business?
I am.
Beautiful. Welcome to the first time I've ever actually done this live. I have no idea how it's going to go, but hopefully this is going to be beneficial for you and worth your time actually hanging out with me. And hopefully for every single person that's watching this, they can get some value they can put into their business. So thanks for being here and being vulnerable to go through all this. So really quick, tell me, what is your business? Let's just start with revenue. What is your rough monthly revenue?
Average is 80 to 100K.
80 to 100K. And so who's your ideal client? Tell us your ideal client. Recruiters. And are they founders? Like they own their own recruitment agency, or?
I've got two different levels. So level 1 is for employed recruiters to learn how to run a desk, and level 2 is for solo business owners to learn how they can actually scale their business through automation, systems and branding.
So you got one for employees and one for founders.
Yes.
So revenue about 80 to 100K. Is that quite consistent, or do you sort of get some low months as well?
Yeah, it depends. So that's my average, because sometimes it can go down to 50K, sometimes it can go up to say 150K as well. So
right,
really,
okay.
It's very much peaks and troughs. I have had periods of time as well when I've hired somebody, let the reins go, handed sales over, that the revenue just completely dipped, and then it came straight back up again a few months later once the team member was trained as well. So it often depends on what's happening in the business. Also, if I've made any big decisions in terms of, one that I recently did was invest in an AI bot. So all my time and attention was taken away from that. So it really impacts. I get the peaks and troughs.
Got it. Okay, so every single time you take attention away, shit drops.
Yeah.
Attention away. Cool. Okay, so recruiters, and what is your offer? How do you help recruiters?
Yes, so again, two offers. So the level 1 offer for employed recruiters is the Be Rare Academy. It's an online training academy which teaches them how they can go from 0 to 20K in 30 days. And then off the back of that, they graduate that level and then they learn the full sales cycle in recruitment. The next offer is for the solo business owners who already know how to recruit, they know how to sell, they've started their own agency, but they don't have a personal brand, so they're up against the big boys in the industry. It's really competitive, and they don't have systems to scale, and they don't know how to market it themselves. So that's the second program for people in that position.
So what's the biggest problem?
So my biggest problem is on the recruitment agency side of things. I feel like I've got that down pat because I've been doing it for so long. But when I started Rare 2 years ago and I'm selling programs, it's like a whole different funnel and business model. So I feel like I've almost self-taught myself how to do everything. And the way that it's worked today is I've got a fairly big LinkedIn personal brand, and I get a lot of leads from that, but it was quite manual up until about a year ago, actually, Morgan, when I met you, and I learned how to do all the systems, funnels and automations, but it's still not there yet in terms of it being like 100%, like this part of the funnel links to this part that automates this part, that, it's like the systems are a little bit messy. It's more so the funnel side of things. And the second biggest problem that I've got at the moment is my offer. So I feel my offers are disjointed. I've tried my best to split up between employed versus non-employed recruiters, but sometimes even people in those categories, one person has a problem with sales, but the other person, they're still employed, but they don't have a sales problem. They have a branding problem. But sometimes they don't have a branding problem. They don't know how to interview candidates. So I'm finding centralizing my offer to adapt to everyone's pain point difficult, because all of the pain points are difficult. And then that probably leads into why I can't funnel people, is because what language am I speaking, So it's a little bit disjointed.
Great. Okay, cool. So based off everything I've just heard here, so I always do everything based off these 5 pillars that you would know. So we talk about, sales, marketing, operations, leadership, and then empire. So, and because I know you as well, right? So you've been in the mastermind now for around a year or so. You're just like most very ambitious entrepreneurs, very similar to me, where you kind of want to jump to the empire phase as fast as you can and want to have, multiple different businesses, all right, and help all the different types of people. It's like you run so fast, you're like, well, I can help this person and this person, this, and because you see opportunity where you're like, well, I could help them with this, I could make that an offer and that an offer and that one. And because if we jump up here too fast, then the bottom down here, marketing and sales, starts to completely just tank and derail, and we can't really, and that's kind of what's happening, right? And because the marketing and sales are a bit like feeling like it's disjointed, it's really hard for you to actually really service them properly in the operations so you can have these perfect repeatable systems. So because you're like, well, who's this client? Because let's say, for example, if you were just a sales agency or a sales expert, you could help them you'd onboard them the exact same way every single time, because they get the exact same product delivered, etc., etc. But because there's a sales and there's a branding and there's this and there's a one-on-one and there's this offer and then this idea, you hurt yourself because you have to create multiple different ways where you've got to onboard them and create different systems to deliver the product. Make sense?
Yeah, 100%. That's it.
Does that kind of sound familiar? Where you're like, well, that's why the operations, because you said before, you're like, things feel very disjointed and there's a lot of shit just spinning, but you're not really sure if it's doing the right work. Is that sort of make sense? Because there's lots of different angles you're sending them to.
Absolutely. I feel like all parts of the puzzle are set up well, but they're not talking to each other at the moment because everyone wants something different. So I'm just saying, yeah, I can help you with that, but then this person wants help with that, and I've got lots of different programs for lots of different people at any one time, and it's very time consuming and tiring as well.
Yeah, cool. Got it. So if I didn't even know you, what I would guess, so if your lowest month's are 50K and your highest is 150, that's the two businesses combined as well, right?
Yes.
So if we're fixing, where's the rough income of just the training?
Just the training, anywhere between 40 to 80.
Cool. That's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, I reckon you're stuck here and here in operations and leadership, because that's usually what happens, right? So if we don't have the bottom 1 and 2 completely dialed, we're going to be stuck at about 50K. If we don't have operations dialed, we're going to be stuck at about 70K. And that's why I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Because I'm like, it sounds like a sales and operations problem, but you're talking empire numbers. This makes a lot of sense. So now when I can understand this, we get to sort of hone in and go, okay, so why is it sort of breaking here? I think you've gotten to that 70K with the bottom 2 pillars a little broken because you're a work ethic and you're a psychopath like me. And you're like, let's go. Okay, so good. So let's look at this. So number 1 is we want to look at, we got to look at into the marketing quadrant. I want to come to the marketing quadrant, and we want to look at, the first thing is your ideal client, okay? Because up until $100,000 to $150,000 per month, okay, you really want to be focusing on just having one ideal client. One ideal client for many reasons. Number 1, if you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. Okay, so you're trying to stand out in a market that's already quite crowded, and you're trying to say, I can service everybody, and you'll make good money, but not really penetrate through the market and become the best. Even if you look at one of the biggest companies on the planet right now, Amazon, they started as a bookstore. They were like, we just sell books. Then they added one thing and another thing. Now they're like, we sell whatever the fuck we want to sell, right? And because they have that reputation, people will buy it from them. So we just want to get really clear on who is the ideal client that we really want to service through this, because it sounds like you've got 2 ideal clients, which it might be able to work because they're very crossed over. So I want to look at that. So you kind of got 2. So you've got the employees. And
everyone's a recruiter, and actually the reason I like that part, I'd love your feedback on this, is recruitment, job of a recruiter is the same whether you're employed or whether you run your own business. Really, you do an identical job. So actually the job itself is not too different. The biggest difference is if you're a business owner, you want to scale systems and things like that because you've got the free reign to do it. So actually it's not too different the way I'm doing any recruiter, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it can work because like they are, and I've already got a really cool idea that we could do in here, because like, let's say for example, if you were like, I got 2 ideal clients. One is a recruitment agency and the other are coaches. I teach sales, they both need sales and systems. That's when you're like, no, it's complete different industries. If the industry can somewhat cross over, then we might be able to get away with it. If we're starting from scratch, I would say let's pick just one of them. But because you're sort of really kind of crushing it and you're tipping over $1 million a year, you might be able to get away. So we just want to look at this first and go, okay, the ideal client, get really clear on what it is they actually want. So you got the founders, and then you got the employees. And then we're going to come back to this next one. So we want to look at this and go, okay, what is the biggest pain point that the employees are having? What is their biggest pain point? Like what is there? You want to look for what is that aching thing in their tooth, okay, that they were like, I will pay you anything to get this out for me. What is their ache?
Winning new business. So like generating
sales.
leads and converting like new sales. Yeah, brand new business.
Good. So sales, and you could really deliver, and you already do that, don't you?
Yes.
Great. And so what is the biggest problem, the ache for founders?
Honestly, the same. It's genuinely just really hard and competitive. But what I would add to that is what I find is a lot of founders, they go from being in an agency where they've got the backing of their business, they've got branding, marketing, admin support, and they get the shock of their life when they go alone and they can't stand out. So actually the branding, the visibility side of things to get the opportunity is quite often their problem at that point, not the same sales problem that the employees have. For the employees, it's more a skill problem. For the business owners, it's more of a visibility problem and a trust problem.
Great. Okay, so you're helping them get attention and trust.
Yeah. Get attention and trust on the front end,
which,
so that they can then sell.
As a result, gets them sales.
Yeah.
And do they know that that's their problem, or do you tell them that's their problem?
A little bit of both, actually. So personal branding in the recruitment industry is a bit of a buzzword flying around, but no one fully understands it.
Great.
Well, a lot of people don't. So it's a bit of education from me, but also some people know.
Cool. Great. Okay. So founders are coming to you because they want to grow their personal brand and get more attention and more leads and make more money in their agency.
Yep.
So they can be the best. And then employees are coming to you because they want to learn how to make more sales because they're paid on commission and then they can make more money. It's also going to grow the founders.
Exactly.
Great. So we're going to get really clear on the ideal client, which I think was somewhat clear. What I want you to do is go and check out the fears, frustration, the AI cheat sheet thing that I have inside of our mastermind.
Yes.
Where you can find their fears, frustrations, wants, and dreams. If anyone watching or listening to this right now, you can actually DM me on Instagram, FWDD, right here, and I'll send you the exact sheet that I'm talking about, Jess. You can do that again, Jess, and go through and get really clear on the like the demographics, the emotional drivers of why they're buying, the pain, the heaven, the hell that they're in. Because once you've got that, then we're going to start looking at number 2 here, which is revamping your offer. Because don't you still do, so you were mentioning before, you said to me before where you're like, my offer is very disjointed. Some might come to me for sales, for systems, for personal branding. And then because I'm doing these cohorts there, I have to do one-on-one training with them and stuff. And you're not burning yourself out, but you're busy because you're just doing calls all day long. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is exactly right. Yeah.
Cool. So what I want to look at is how can we create one offer, okay? So what we want to look at is here. I might run out of room here, but essentially what we want to look at here is going, how do we create one offer, okay? One offer that is like the whole gangster kit that includes the personal branding, the sales, the systems, and that's really the main thing they're wanting, right? They wanted to blow up online, which is marketing. They want to make more money, sales, and they want to systemize it so it can be repeatable, correct?
Yeah, correct.
So how can we make one offer that pleases everybody? Because if we did something like this offer here that included personal branding, sales, and systems, the founder could get pleased by all of these, and the employee also gets this, but they might not need the other 2 yet, which is fine. Because what we could do is this. We want to create just one ideal client, one offer, one sales channel, one sales conversion tool for a year to make $1 million. Essentially, that's kind of the goal. And I know you use LinkedIn, which is great. So what we want to do is go, essentially, when you have all of these ideal clients in front of you, you want to be able to say, this is what I do. If you have this problem, I help you do this by doing this by delivering like this. So if I'm speaking to an entire room and half the room split between founders and half the room split with employees, this is kind of how I want to say it. I want to say, so if you're a founder or an employee that wants to generate more sales and really create a lot more freedom in your lifestyle and your business, but you're sick and tired of trying to play the guessing game of how to get more attention online, how to stand out between the weeds, how to grow your personal brand and turn those followers and leads into paying clients, then I'm your girl. Because what we do is I teach you the exact blueprint to grow your personal brand, stand out online, make effortless sales. Then we'll teach you how to systemize the entire thing so it's a perfect repeatable process so you can actually scale your business with certainty and clarity. Does that sound good? Great, that's what we do. And if you're an employee, you don't need all that. What you can do is you can just get a portion of it. Okay, so essentially we'd look at, so offer, I'm drawing this not in the right way. So offer 1, we go, it includes this, this, and this, okay? The things I wrote up here. Personal branding, the systems, and the sales. But, so I'm gonna write here. So personal branding, systems, sales. Sales training. But what we do, so that's offer number 1, or you can take offer 2, and that gets you just this. Okay, so it's either you're offer 1, you're a founder. So if you're a founder, you do offer 1. If you're an employee, you do offer 2. And then what's cool, because how much do you sell? And I'm going to come back into this as well, the delivery to this, because it's going to go into the operations of how you actually deliver it. Which, because we got to fix. You always want to fix a leads and sales problem first. There's no point trying to get bogged down fixing your systems and then get so busy there that you don't have any money next month because you're like, oh shit, I didn't market or sell anything. So if we get really clear on this is going to help you get clear on how to deliver it as well. So we just want to break it into going, okay, we have 2 offers, but the 2 offers is the exact same offer. All you're doing is offer 2. You're just giving them access to only a portion of the actual offer. Make sense?
Yeah.
So that way you're not having to create anything more. You're not confusing yourself. You're just saying, if you're a founder, you get the entire thing. If you're an employee, you just get this section.
Yeah, okay.
Because you've got all this content already pre-recorded anyway, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Great, so it's like, so we go put you into the portal. Founders get access to this. I'm just gonna make up numbers for a second. Founders, this course is $5,000. And if you're an employee, you get access to all this for $2K, for example.
Okay, yeah.
But then what I'd be doing, because essentially, obviously, you want to sell offer 1 because it's your higher ticket. What I'd be doing is all the employees, what do you think they're going to do? What do you think their founders are going to think when they start taking your program and start making more money?
That they want their team to enroll, or they want to enroll. Perhaps.
Yeah, they're going to be like, whoa, how did you start making all this money? What are you doing differently?
Yeah.
And they're going to say, well...
A lot, actually. Sometimes I get like an employee, a hard-working employee, spend their own money,
yep.
And then their boss enrolls the team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is they're going to get results. They're going to do one of 2 things. If they're an amazing person, they're going to say, well, I've been taking Jess's course and I learned all these skills. Amazing. And they can give credit to you. But if they're not, they might try to take credit for themselves and be like, oh, I've just been upskilling, da, da, da. But what if they could be incentivized to want to tell their boss and their teammates about you? Mm-hmm. So could you create a referral and you turn, because do you sign up more of these employees or more founders at the moment?
Well, the interesting thing is this, is, the employees offer, I have that digital at the moment because they can watch it as many times until it sinks in. Whereas the founders, I usually do it live. So actually that's the biggest difference. And also that affects the price point, just similar to what you've said. So that's kind of the divide, is employees are online and founders are live, and it's more like advanced and in-depth.
Yeah,
so
but like out of,
I guess, high level.
Out of like, how many, like, do you have, out of 100 people that you work with, is it 50-50, 50 founders, 50 employees, or what's the split roughly?
Well, funnily enough, up until 2 or 3 months ago, when I launched Be Rare Academy, it was 90% solo business owners. As soon as I launched the Be Rare Academy, it's about 50-50 now.
Okay.
So I can see that the recruiters on the ground really do need this as well.
Great. Cool. So what I would just do then is to create some sort of referral system to your recruiters that says, hey, if you can either refer just the course that you got, okay, to your employee, okay, so if they can tell their employee about it, then give them a referral, give them 20%. So if you can sell the 2K course, you can sign up your work friends and you can get a bonus, you get 20%. Then it's a different question of how do we set up an affiliate and stuff like that. So you can give them two options. I'd give them two options. If you can sign up a friend on the exact same course, here's 20%. Or if you can introduce us to your employer and they successfully sign up, then you will get a 30% bonus or something similar, okay? Because obviously they will get paid more because they're buying a higher course, right? So I would essentially, your marketing is going out and you're hitting both already, but what if you can get 50% of your audience, 50% of your clients to actually do the marketing for you to your other market as well? You're gonna start to use this as an engine that's just gonna be referral marketing. Making sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, but what we need to do first is just get really clear on the two offers, which we can figure out, but I want to give you sort of like the big picture structure first. So does that make sense? Moving forward, just making two offers?
Yes, does make sense.
Great. So now we're going to look at so this is that's really the marketing side of things we're looking at, okay? So you want to fix your ideal client, okay, and get really clear on the offer, which we can really sort of revamp this and look at like what is the actual offer. We can come back to it if you want and make it like a level 10 offer so it's really, really sexy for people. But the next thing we want to look at is diving into what color should I use for this one? We want to now dive into the operations section, okay? Which is going to be, how do you actually deliver, okay? How do you deliver this? Now, what's the bottleneck you're currently having right now with delivering the products? Like, how come you're doing all these one-on-one calls?
Biggest bottleneck. I have hundreds of open leads that I could close, but I don't have the time to close them. So I've actually slowed down on marketing and nurturing because my offers aren't specific. So my time's in demand. So then I don't want to take on any more clients. And then in all honesty, my biggest struggle at the minute is when clients finish the program, my follow-up system's not as good as it should be. I need to be nurturing them more, but by that point got a full diary of new clients, I find it really hard. So actually that delivering ops is by far my biggest struggle.
Great.
Scale a lot more, I think.
And I'm glad you see that as your biggest, because it is the biggest constraint, right? Because it sounds like, I just wrote down here, it's a sales problem as well, but to fix this, because you always want to be looking through like what's the next constraint at every single time, right? So what's the biggest constraint? So if we look at, based off everything you just said, it sounds like it's a leads and sales constraint, but it's actually not, because it's disguised as a leads and sales constraint, but it's actually an operations constraint because you can't bring on any more clients, customers, because it's going to screw yourself even more with the delivery. If we can solve the delivery where it's nice and streamlined, you can come back to the start, right? You can come back down here and solve this sales issue, make the follow-ups better, close the deals better. So what we got to look at is how are you delivering it at the moment? So you're doing like one-on-one calls and stuff, right?
A mix actually. So sometimes I'm doing group cohorts for the personal branding. For the sales, typically it's one-on-one. I find people need they're at different levels with sales. So yes, some group, some one-on-one, and the system stuff always one-on-one. And a lot of my clients want the system stuff, so I've found myself doing a lot of one-on-one
Great.
lately.
And how much is one-on-one?
8K for 12 sessions. 8 to 9K, depending on what they want.
12 sessions. Okay, so it's not terrible. But the problem is you're making good cash now, and you are not going to be able to scale anymore past this if we don't switch to from one-to-one to one-to-many model.
Yeah, okay.
So you're at the bottleneck now. Like you're pretty capped.
This cycle's been happening for a while now and it's just not quite.
Yeah. Cool.
through to the next level.
So this is exactly, so especially in the coaching and training model, like what you want to do is you start one-to-one, then you start doing many one-to-ones, then more and more and more, until eventually you're like, oh my God, I can't do any more. That is your sign to when to switch to one-to-many. So what if we did something like this? What if, because I know you're targeting people to come in for personal branding and then sales and then systems, and they're coming from different types of things. That's why you're delivering some in group, some in one-on-ones, because you can tailor it. What if so people are doing 12 sessions with you. So obviously they're wanting around a 12-week cycle with you. Does that sound fair?
Some people will do 6 2-hour sessions, and some people will do 12 one-on-one sessions, 12 one-hour sessions.
So what if you actually just created a 12-week program?
Yeah.
Right? 12-week program, and that delivers the promise of 3 things. Because now we've got to look at actually creating, like, what is the promise of your program? So if we look at, they're obviously coming to you for personal branding, sales, and systems. So if we go, because now we want to look at what is the methodology that people come to you for. Okay, so number 1, they're going to come to you for personal branding. So how can we make that sexier? I would say we could call it, branding. We can make this sexier, but branding, sales, and then systems. Because remember, people are coming to you because they want an outcome. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You just got to show them how do you get them the outcome. So the outcome that they want is to make more money, right? More money or sales. Do it with less stress. And probably more certainty, correct?
Yeah, for sure.
The reason they don't have certainty is because everything's unstable and there's no systems and things like this. The reason they're really stressed out is because they're probably doing it all themselves, and they want to have more money because, every business owner wants to grow.
Yeah.
How you deliver that to them is you're like, well, so let's just call it, like, you can probably put this in the ChatGPT. You could tell ChatGPT, like, hey, make me some really cool, actually, let's just do this right now even. Let me talk to ChatGPT for you. Hey, I want you to help me create 3 different really cool, sexy, exciting names for a 12-week group program that I'm running. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the business. I'm a recruitment professional, and I help other recruiters and also employees of recruitment companies make more sales. I help them dial in their systems so they can make more money repeatable, and I help them grow their personal brand and really get attention and stand out in a crowded marketplace. My 3 pillars that I'm helping them in their business is branding, sales, and systems. Why they really come to me is because they want to make more money, they want to have less stress, and they want to have a lot more certainty and have more control over their business. And we help them do that in about 12 weeks. It's a group program, and I do 1 call a week as well. Can you just give me a few really, really cool names that I should call this program? I want something sexy where I could like trademark it almost. Cool. So let's see what it comes back with. And you can always just sort of work on this. Let's see what it comes up with. Because once we can sort of create a name for this, then it sounds like it's very, very professional. Okay, so we got the recruiter's edge, control and commission. I'm gonna say, nah, keep going.
Quick fire, read them out, because I feel like I'm someone that gets a feel for things.
Yeah, full desk freedom, booked and banked.
Booked and banked, yeah. It's actually quite good.
Okay, magnetic recruiter method. The magnetic recruiter method, MRM. Look, let me just, you can keep fleshing this out, okay? Let's just say, for example, we go with the MRM method, okay? Or it's like the magnetic recruiter method. What I'm just wanting to get across here is the positioning, booked and banked. Let's just say it's like one of them, for example, and you can play with it, create some really cool name, because then what you can talk about in your marketing, to be like, are you someone who's, you're losing control of your business, you're super stressed out, you don't know how to close leads or get leads, and you're really just wanting to actually scale your recruitment company, get better commissions, and finally do it with actually clear processes? Good. Then what we do with the booked and banked method, we help you dial in your personal branding so you can stand out amongst the noise, get sales on autopilot, And then we help you dial in your system so you can actually keep growing month on month predictably with less stress and more profit. Because that's what you want anyway, isn't it? You want to make more profit, have more freedom? Good. Then that's what we do inside of my 12-week program. In the 12-week program, you're going to get the courses that you already have pre-recorded, right? You have all the training on the systems, the sales, and the personal branding.
Yeah.
What we're doing is, instead of you doing one-on-one with people anymore, okay, you're doing it all in courses, and you're going to do 1 times group call per week. And
I actually do that already in the Be Rare Academy. It's exactly what I do.
Good. So we're eliminating the one-on-one, right? But what I want you to do is you're building this 12-week program is going to be your core program, your core offer. This is what people.
The divide, because the Be Rare Academy is currently like 97 a month. I've only just launched it. It's only got like 30 people in it. I haven't even officially launched it. I've just been referring clients, other clients. But it's 97 a month. It's not it's not high ticket. So what do you reckon I do there?
You're teaching all 3 of these things?
Not systems, but branding and sales, yes.
What I think is going to work is one really clear 12-week program where, let's say, when people Google Jess Kimber, you gotta go, what do I want to be known for? And the thing you probably want to be known for is scaling recruiters, right? Building 7-figure recruiters. How I do that is with my booked and banked method.
Yeah.
Okay? That's the core thing you want to push everyone into. This is what I want everyone into, because you could probably sell this for, $6K, 12-week program or something like this.
Yeah.
And each week you do a group call and you cover one of these topics each week. So on week 1, we're talking all things branding. Week 2, we're talking all things sales. Week 3, all things systems. And you just jump on and you teach something new for like 20 minutes. Then the next 40 minutes is just Q&A on that topic. And you have your modules built out where they get all the answers, the playbooks, the systems and shit in the courses, but then they come to just get the questions answered by you. If they want one-on-one, this is where the price just goes up significantly. Okay, if you want one-on-one, it starts at 15K. Because you would rather sign just 2 more people into your method than to take on a one-on-one client.
Yeah, of course.
Right? So I want you to really focus on taking all these things here. So you see here now, okay, this actually is probably what would work good, Jess. Your 12-week program is the offer 1 that we talked about over here. That we give for the founders, okay? Offer 1. And then your school group that you've been building, $97 per month or something.
Yeah.
That is offer 2. Just for the employees. If you're an employee, you join our school group. If you're a founder and you're in our school group, that's okay, but hey, what you doing? Because what you really want is over here. Like, you need these 3 trifectas to grow your agency, but if you're just a commission-based employee, then of course, we just teach you sales here.
Yeah.
Got it? So you probably don't teach the personal branding element in that $97 per month.
That's good. So just sales in the school, and then I've got a quick win framework as well. So the quick win framework to get set up, and then the sales. And then once you've got some sales, the high ticket main core offer is the 12-week rotation where they get the branding as well.
Yep. And the cool thing with the 12-week course is, because your other problem before is you are waiting for cohorts to start because you want to teach this thing and all these cohorts. This 12-week program is evergreen and it's ever going. You don't start and stop it. You run it consistently all the time. So that way, because let's say here's 4 quarters in the year. What you do is every single week you're talking on a different topic. 1 week we're talking sales, 1 week we're talking systems, 1 week we're talking branding, and then we start again. Systems, sales, branding, sales, systems. But all the modules, so let's say if someone jumps in this week and they're like, oh, I really want sales. Oh, but next week's systems, next week's branding, that's okay, because the course is going to give them the things that they need straight away. What you might want to put into your program is an on-ramp fast track where they can actually self-do a few things to get them some quick wins in the first 1-2 weeks.
Yeah, I've got that.
Right, so they can jump in, get some quick wins where they feel really awesome, and we can look at that later. It really is making the delivery system awesome. They can get some quick wins. They're loving it. And you just do this simple thing, because now you can have thousands jump on a call with you every single week. It's not taking your time away. You're loving it. They're loving it. It's only $6,000, so they're not expecting a one-on-one time with you. But if they want to do one-on-one, then I would increase the price significantly. And then I would still cap it. Just do five a time or something like this, right? And then if the demand goes up, supply and demand. That's how Tiffany & Co. literally, Chanel, that's how Chanel price their items. They're like, we're going to keep increasing the price until we see people stop buying. That's our price. You could literally do that with your one-on-one. But the 97, so if we do the quarterly thing, instead of doing these intakes every quarter, it's this ever-going thing. So it's going to eliminate the problem of you having to wait for cohorts, then signing up the wrong person at the wrong time, and then having to take one-on-one because you didn't want to have one person in a group program or two people or something like that. It's, no one wants that. So what you do is you have this operate all the time, but what you do instead is you create a intake every single month. Because what you also want to do is put all your focus into like a push. So let's say, for example, all of your marketing stuff every single month should be focused around essentially, here's the pain point. If this is what you want, then we're about to take in another cohort. The next cohort starts on the first week of January, first week of this. Every single month, you can be doing another intake. And what you can do is you just package it differently. Okay, so 1 month, hey, you want to jump into this cohort this month because we have 10% off. Next month, you want to jump into this cohort because it's our end of financial year enrollment. You want to jump into this cohort because it's our end of year crusher, right? This is the last one you can jump into, finish the year strong. You want to jump into this cohort because we're going to launch the year strong. You know what I mean? So every single enrollment you do across the 12 months, you just change the packaging, change the wrapping.
Actually, that's a really good idea.
So you change the wrapping, it sounds like you're giving a new thing every time, even though they know it's the same. It's like, for a perfect example, I walked into a cooking shop the other day because Simona wanted to get a new frying pan, and we went in and she got the frying pan, and I looked, I was like, oh my God, baby, we should get these steak knives too. They're only $250. It's 70% off. And she started laughing, and she's like, we don't need knives. I said, I know, but they're only $250. And she's like, what the fuck? And I asked the lady, she goes, and Simona goes, they're always on sale. I said, no, they're not. It's on sale. I asked the lady, I said, when does this sale end? And she goes, on Thursday. I said, so can you tell me honestly that on Thursday, this deal is done? She goes, yeah, it is. I said, baby, we need to get the knives. And I go, actually, hold on a second. What happens on Friday? She goes, we'll put a different offer on and they'll be about the same price. I'm like, so they're the same price every single day, but they wrap it differently every single week. Okay. So people come in because people buy emotionally, justify logically. I don't need fucking steak knives, but I went in there and I was like, oh my God, I justify, we should buy them because they're cheap. So and this is where you can sit down and plan your whole year calendar now and go, okay, what themes of the year can we run with? Start of financial year, end of financial year. Start of the year, end of the year, right? And you can sort of be pushing these things. And what you want to do is you use these different packaging just because it's a reason to market. It's a reason to talk to people about your program. Does this make sense?
Yeah, for sure it does. I'm taking lots of notes.
I love it.
It makes sense, yeah.
Okay, so do you feel like if you switched your business model to actually this one-to-many offer and you started doing this 12-week program, you really built out the cohort and the curriculum and an onboarding roadmap, and you just showed up once a week and you did a course, can you see how you're going to eliminate all of your one-on-one calls and you're going to do 1 hour a week of deliverables now? Can you see that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's perfect.
So will that fix the delivery issue?
Yes.
Great.
Sure.
If you get really clear on the offer, I'm running out of time today, but if you get really clear on the offer, you can go back into our modules that I teach you inside of our mastermind and really work on building out your level 10 offer to make your core one offer like a no-brainer, like crazy shit. Can you do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then also I'd even get a little bit clearer on your ideal client again, so you can really get clear on their pain points and stuff. Even though I think you're quite clear on that, but package the offer in a way where when they see it, they're like, oh my God, this is amazing, with like a guarantee and these sorts of things. And then we start talking about your 12-week program, but we launch it every month. So that means your calendar, right? You probably want to have like week of awareness stuff, 1 week of, problem. So like problem awareness, problem solution, right? And then invite to join us, and then like an urgency type calendar where it's like, hey, are you struggling with these types of things? Like, here's what, like, don't tell them what to do, tell them why they're fucking it up. Here's 3 ways to get more money in your business. Here's 3 ways where you're sabotaging your sales in your agency. Tell them, get awareness to their problem. They're like, wow. Week 2, it's like problem solution. Here's what you could do instead. Da, da, da. Hey, we have something coming out. We're about to open enrollments for our next cohort. You should join. And the final week, massive urgency, closing soon, 3 spots left. Price is going up, blah, 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 blah. So you can sort of start to sync your marketing calendar every week, where you sort of even have themes for the week of your month of what to focus on that week. Once you start this, you can have this systemized, blah, 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 blah.
Love it. Okay, this is amazing. Thank you so much. That was
Good.
Really helpful, actually.
Amazing. I love it.
Pieces of my puzzle together.
I love it. So next time we talk, let's talk about, I just want to go through the actual like offer, but you see the main thing is you're actually getting really clear on, because once you put your program into a method, then you can really charge whatever you want for it, because people are like, wow, that is the signature system to get that outcome I want. It's not just work with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've got all of the programs in isolation. I just run them based on what people want. So whilst they'll polish up on them a little bit, all I really need to do is sit there and go, right, this one goes week 1, this one goes week 2, this one goes to week 3, and just pull it into a end program, a 12-week program.
Absolutely.
Instead of having 3 separate ones.
Yeah, because then also people might come in and they might want one issue solved, and then the next, you never know. Same as what I have in the mastermind, right? So in our mastermind, we have is everything I teach, right? Sales, marketing, operations, leadership, empire. Some people might come in and go, oh my God, I really need to fix my leadership. Like Nigel, who's in our mastermind, Nigel, he came in, he's like, we're doing really well. We're making like 60K a month, crushing it. I said, so what's the problem? He goes, oh, well, if I'm not there, we don't make money. I said, cool, so you have a leadership problem. Then we helped him put in vision, mission, values and stuff, and culture and stuff into his company. And he just had his first $100,000 a month. He's never made that in 17 years.
Awesome, how good.
Yeah, and then people come in to focus on empire and, operations. So the thing is, because we've got these things built out, it's like people will come in and have a different problem at that time. But when we jump on calls, it's like you can still get what you need at this time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, let them come in and select from the buffet.
Yeah, do you find as well, because actually one of the reasons why I did join your inner circle is because I somewhat knew I had all the pieces of the pie, but I didn't have the system, which is exactly what you've taught me to put together. But I guess my question is around like, how if you're marketing different things, like you're doing the operations, the sales, different business owners, like how do you bring them all into one system and like know it's going to work for them? And the reason I ask that is because sometimes recruiters recruit construction, sometimes they recruit medical. So then that's also another layer that I find quite difficult, because I'm speaking to people that operate in different industries, if that makes sense. So I know I didn't articulate that well, but what I'm trying to say is like, how do you train me versus someone that's in mining, someone in construction, someone
because all businesses is the same, and then I tell them that.
It's the same steps.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's like, so you could be doing the same thing. So it doesn't matter who you recruit for. It's all the exact same thing, and you chunk it up enough so it makes sense. So it doesn't matter if you're recruiting plumbers or a dentist or a lawyer. You need to understand why they would want to work with you. Then you start teaching your methods. You need to understand, why would they want to work with you? What's going to be your pitch? How are you going to communicate to them? How are you going to close them? How are you going to onboard? So you'll be like, it doesn't matter. Take away the label. What you're doing is you are recruiting, and I'm going to teach you how to be the boss recruiter. So it doesn't matter who you're recruiting, because all recruitment is the exact same. That's what I say. It's like, I say all business is the same. I say to people, I'm like, every business involves sales. Then you have to market what you sell. Then you have to deliver what you sold. Then you have to build a team. Then you want to structure it in a way where you can exit the company and build other companies, and every business is the same.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing. All right, legend. Have you enjoyed this?
Amazing. Yeah, really helpful. Thank you so much, Morg.
For everyone else that's watching this, do all the things. Subscribe. We're putting a lot of cool stuff like this. DM me that word, FWD, and I'm gonna send you the cheat sheet, the AI cheat sheet. This is the first time I've ever done this. If you enjoyed me doing this, literally like hot seat coaching and breaking down someone's business model, if you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments, and then maybe we'll keep doing more. Maybe I'll try to do one a month or something like that. So anyway, see you on the next episode.